Most people could tell something was off about the Lakers coaching search. First, Shams reports JJ Redick. Then Woj swoops in with, no, it's Dan Hurley and it always has been. Lakers are in a full court press to sign him. Then 2 weeks later, JJ gets the job after all. What was all that crap in between? Was Woj wrong? Maybe Shams just got lucky. Or something about that story made Woj extremely petty. He wanted to beat Shams so bad he risked his whole reputation and it backfired. But why? I mean, they beat each other on reports all the time. What was it about this story that made it so important to the NBA's biggest reporter? Well, on June 4th, Shams said the Lakers were zeroing in on Redick to be their next head coach. Normally, he doesn't use that strong language unless it's almost a done deal. That's why Woj's tweet 2 days later was such a shock. Breaking: the Lakers are targeting Connecticut's Dan Hurley to become the franchise's next coach. What? That is huge. And to stick it to Shams even more, Woj made sure to say, Hurley's been at the forefront of the Lakers search from the very beginning. Oh, it's not enough that Shams was wrong. He's been wrong the entire time. And people, including me, lapped it up. I even made a video saying Shams got exposed, which couldn't have been more wrong. It was the other way around, because 4 days later, Hurley turned down the Lakers' offer. Woj said he's the most sought-after coach in all of basketball, so it must have been a huge offer, right? Nope. They offered 6 years, $70 million. He would have been the 6th highest paid head coach. Factor in California taxes and Hurley's buyout, is that even a real offer? And he admitted, yes, there was a number for me to go to LA, but that wasn't it. So was LA even that serious? Why did Woj go so hard on reporting for Dan Hurley? Because they've got connections. Not only did Woj want Shams to be wrong, he wanted to have a contact deep within the Lakers locker room. Woj is famously shut out by LeBron James. Early in LeBron's career, Woj ripped him as childish and selfish, and LeBron never forgot it. Now, Shams owns the LA Lakers, gets all the scoops, and the most glamorous team in the NBA. But if Dan Hurley was in there, Woj owns LA. It turns out, 20 years ago, Woj wrote a book about Dan's father, Bob, called The Miracle of St. Anthony, about Bob Hurley coaching a high school dynasty. An insider told Ethan Strauss, Bob Hurley has 3 sons, Danny, Bobby, and Woj. Imagine if Woj's virtual brother was head coach of the Lakers. But he was wrong. So Woj could have just moved on and taken the L, but instead he took the petty to another level. When Hurley turned down the job, this is what Woj said on ESPN about JJ Redick.
JJ Redick, he had an initial kind of a get-to-know-you conversation that several candidates had with the Lakers. That was at the Chicago Draft Combine with Rob Pelinka. That was an hour 15, not a formal interview.
Oh, you know, your typical hour, 15-minute get-to-know-ya with a GM. 75 minutes, one-on-one, not an interview. Really, he is so desperate to make Shams look wrong, but it got even worse. On June 20th, breaking, JJ Redick gets the job. So Woj immediately tweets, Pelinka's first conversation with Redick came at the Chicago Draft Combine in mid-May, but Pelinka had a much longer visit with Dan Hurley there, and that set him exclusively on the path of pursuing the UConn coach, who eventually turned down the offer. I mean, dude, just take the L. It's so obvious that you got beat by Shams here, but Woj insists on embarrassing himself. Why? Because they hate each other. Woj was Shams' mentor at Yahoo Sports in 2016, but Woj left for ESPN and Shams chose not to join him and step out of his shadow. Now, Shams is at The Athletic and they are rivals. The Washington Post says Shams doesn't like seeing Woj's tweets in The Athletic Slack channel, and ESPN reporters are told not to mention stories from The Athletic or even invite their reporters on various ESPN programming, unless you're Pat McAfee. This dude breaks all the rules at ESPN. There's nothing Woj can do about it. He even called out an ESPN exec by name on air, called him a rat, and the guy got fired. McAfee pulls views, which is the only thing that actually matters on TV, and he likes Shams. He actually has Shams on his show on ESPN, not Woj, and they openly made fun of this story. Just watch Shams take a victory lap on Woj's home turf.
JJ Redick, looks like the deal is final in LA, so congrats to you. It sounds like you were correct the whole time. Yeah. What's the deal look like?
I said it May 24th. I said June 4th.
JJ Redick, just like you said.
Wait, who?
Well, you shut up.
Hold on.
We get it.
Oh, JJ Redick.
Yeah.
JJ Redick. Okay.
So,
He's like, JJ Redick? Who? I thought it was Dan Hurley. You know Woj is so pissed about that. But the big question is, how did Shams even get this scoop? How did Woj get it so wrong when JJ Redick worked at ESPN with him? What happened? Well, right after the Shams report, JJ was asked about it on a podcast during the finals, and he was not happy.
My focus is on the NBA Finals. I will say that. In terms of Shams, that will be addressed once the season is over. So I'll just say that.
Okay, what? Like, addressed how? Is someone in trouble? JJ obviously didn't want this leaked. He was calling the NBA Finals for ESPN. Remember, they let Jeff Van Gundy go, citing his interest in coaching. Then immediately they hired Doc Rivers, who leaves for the Milwaukee Bucks. The last thing that ESPN wants is for another guy to leave to be a coach. JJ knew they would be pissed, and he didn't want it out, so who leaked it? Well, maybe you could say LeBron, because he and Shams are both repped by Clutch Sports, but I don't see LeBron going behind JJ's back like that. Instead, there was a report that JJ was putting together his staff long before he got the job. I am sure one of JJ's new assistants leaked this to Shams that Redick got the job. It's a good career move to help Woj or Shams because they can return the favor by writing something positive about you on the internet. But there's one other mystery in this whole JJ Redick saga. If they gave him the job like a month ago and he was putting together a staff, why did Dan Hurley even get an interview? It's possible Rob Pelinka hired JJ at that combine in the get-to-know-you meeting without consulting the Lakers ownership. And Jeannie Buss and her friends hate that it looks like LeBron's got all the power. So they probably told Pelinka to also interview Dan Hurley, but it wasn't ever for real. And once Woj got wind of this, he tried his best to make it happen, but he took the L in the most embarrassing and petty way possible. Now we move on to the full offseason, and the new CBA is absolutely tearing the league apart. For some teams it's good, for some teams it's bad, but finally we know what the new CBA's effect actually is going to be on the league. Also, this video here about Woj and Shams, most of the research was done by a guy named Ethan Strauss. Go check out his Substack, linked in the description, and actually check out his video. Here's my video, but here's Ethan's new YouTube channel. Check it out.